what I had done when I talked with her last Friday, this woman, I said I would go on February 9th. Well, I have a doctor's appointment at that time, so I have to reschedule it for another day.
Yeah, we can definitely get you that contact information. She really sounds like she's going to be a fabulous volunteer. She has
Yeah,
a lot going on out there. And
that's good.
hopefully we can get her chartered in a club out there because she really has a lot of experience and really wants to provide some neat opportunities for members. So
Yeah, no, she sounds like she has the right attitude, and so that would be good. She was saying, she said trying to get to be a volunteer she said it's not easy. And I said, no, I said, but extension office will help you. I said, there's people there that can walk you through it step by step. And she
she's
said, yeah,
very
okay.
close. She's very, very close. And Samantha's been working really well with the potential volunteers and has been moving those volunteers through very quickly. So she's done a great job.
But
Great.
she sent out a nice certificate.
Pardon me?
She sent us out a nice certificate that said, "Congratulations, you're a volunteer."
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
You can use that, Dawn, if you want to take it into like Joanne's or Michael's. You can get an educator's discount with that because it's showing you as a 4-H leader. So take advantage of those opportunities as well. It used to be when Powell's was there, Powell's would give a discount also, but that was in the past. I'm living in the past now. But
Yeah, me too. There was happier times in the past.
I know it was gumdrops and cotton candy.
Mhm. And smiling faces. Now
We
you just
still have
see.
those.
Yeah, but don't get to see them.
Yeah, this is true. You just have to imagine.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Oh, there's Maria and Sam. Hey guys, Samantha, can you remember the name of the volunteer that we just processed out of Arizona City? If you can chat that to Victor in a private chat, her name and contact information, please, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I'll send that out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it is about 5:30. Actually, it's 5:32. Um, so we will go ahead. I want to respect everybody's time. We will go ahead and get started. And as people join in, hopefully they can catch up. There's not a whole lot to catch up on. But welcome. Thank you all for coming tonight and making this a part of your, what day is it? Wednesday evening. We've got a lot of things to talk about in order to move forward with what we're planning to happen with FAIR. Currently, we are still at stage 0 within the university. As you're all probably pretty familiar with, it puts a challenge in front of us when it comes to meeting with our clubs and providing opportunities for our members, but we are still moving forward and trying to do that. We do have the fair scheduled. We're not changing the fair date. I spoke with Misty out at the fairgrounds today, and some of the junior livestock directors are meeting tonight, and they will be holding their meeting on Monday evening, which Victor goes to and represents 4-H, and he brings back all of their news for us. But currently, the fall festival that they have talked about is just that. It's a carnival. They will be having rides out. They're planning to, and it depends again on where our state is with COVID at that time. But they will be planning to have carnival rides and vendors, possible music. But it did not have anything as far as 4-H planned to be a part of that festival. So what we talked about at our last meeting, moving forward with the 4-H portion of FAIR, we are still going to do that. That is still our goal. The fair was scheduled for March 17th through the 21st, and we'll talk about those dates in a little bit, but those are the dates that were advertised from the beginning of the year, And so all members should have had that time kind of blocked off as fair dates. We talked about having this, our fair, or our version of the fair, out at the Mac Farms in Maricopa. And I believe, Victor, you checked on those dates and we were cleared for that. Is that correct?
I had not mentioned that with Malcolm Green, our director there, because Kathy said that she would go ahead and make that request, which
Okay.
politically speaking, it might be more correct thing to do.
Okay.
So she said she would follow through on that.
Perfect.
But
Then,
I don't see any, problems at all. I'm right now in the process of cleaning the Maricopa, the Ag Village and everything very clean and neat. So when we go forth with this event, that there'll be space and places to run the different events and activities.
Perfect. Thank you. And Kathy, I'm sure will send out a request on behalf of this committee to hold some type of an event out there during that time period. Because of us not knowing what stage we will be at, we are going to plan for a virtual. We are going to plan for a virtual fair. However, as we get closer, as we open up and can do stage 1 and stage 2, we do want to try to hold some of those events live as much as possible. If that means a staggered show start, if that means, there's a lot of things we can play around with as far as ideas when it comes down to it. When we get closer to the date, when we know what stage we will be at. But for planning purposes, we are going to move forward with it as a virtual fair so that everybody can submit their photos, their videos. And again, if everything goes as we're hoping it will, we will go ahead and do some of that live as well. But we have the video to fall back on. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. You're planning for both.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in and out, but yes.
If we're going to do the virtual fair, hopefully a live staggered fair, the same week as Junior Livestock, having it at Mac Farm and having a Junior Livestock at the fairgrounds is going to cause a little bit of problem for some of the kids that are doing both.
It is, Dawn, and I talked with Misty about that, but because Junior Livestock has the entire fairgrounds earmarked for them, so we cannot hold any events during that time period because it jeopardizes their ability to hold the fair meeting the requirements of the state. I did talk with her about dates and what days the shows are going to take place. She believes that there will be no shows on Friday. She says that everybody should be cleared out as far as the animals and camping by Friday morning. The virtual auction will take place on Saturday, but we really don't have an option as far as meeting at the fairgrounds because the Junior Livestock Committee has the entire facility earmarked for their show. And it's like I told Misty, we don't want to jeopardize anything they're doing. At the same time, we don't want to have to delay ours anymore either. So we've got she's going to know more after they meet Monday, and we can work show times around it. It is a distance to travel. I know it's one end of the county to the other. But, we're trying to do the best that we can given the situation that we're in.
Right.
So,
I just know the last meeting we brought that up.
Yeah.
But, okay, we'll make whatever work. We'll make it work.
We're trying. And if that means that we do evening shows, if that means that we end up having to do Sunday shows, we're going to do our best to accommodate. But there may be choices that have to be made at some point too. And that's a part of that's a part of life, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hopefully there won't be too many conflicts. That is something that Misty and I discussed, and we want what's best for the members, whether they're doing livestock, whether they're doing small stock. We want what's best for all members. So we will be working that schedule out, but we want to get the dates out there as far as, you know, we will be having fair during this time period, so people can at least block that out. We will have letters available if members need it for their schools. You know, I don't know how that's working now with half of the schools being virtual, but we will do whatever we need to do to accommodate those requests as well. So, is everybody tracking so far? Or do people have questions?
I'm with you.
Okay. Beth said that March 20th, the Arizona Rabbit and KB show is rescheduled from February at the fairgrounds, unless it needs to be postponed again. Yeah, and again, Misty's in the same situation that we are, at the mercy of COVID, unfortunately. So, but we will, you know, maybe we'll just make sure that the Rabbit and KB show isn't on that Saturday, or I don't know if it's a Saturday show or a Sunday show.
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show. 3 days.
I wonder if she knows that, because that's interesting. But yeah, we will be doing all of our shows out at the MAC, so that we're at least in one location for the 4-H portion of it. Which brings us to the judges. We do need to have judges for our fair, for our portion of fair. So for the superintendents, it is time to secure judges for that. I know that we don't have a set date. That's something that we will be talking to each of you about, what's going to work best. But try to get some judges in mind, because not only do we need to make sure that they're going to have their payment in time, but we need to have them certified as volunteers. They have to do an incidental speaker volunteer background check. Samantha will take care of those, but we have to have the names of the judges so that that can take place. If it's all virtual, it's not that important, but we don't know. Again, we're going to try to hold this as much live as possible. So let's go ahead and get them approved as incidental speakers so that we are in compliance with the 4-H policies. I know all of our horse people are very familiar with that process. So
Oh, yeah.
it is the same for any judges or anybody that will be working at this event. So if you have volunteers that like to help you, just make sure that we've got them covered under the incidental volunteer. Maria has been working very hard on compiling all of the information for the fair book, for the member handbook. And because it is virtual, we are using ShowWorks to do the registration. ShowWorks has a program in place for virtual fairs, and so hopefully it will be an easier process than it is what we did last year. But in the handbook that Maria will be sending out, it has the format that will need to be done, whether you're submitting the video, photos, whatever. One of the things we want to remind all of our members to do is to be wearing their 4-H clothing. I know in last year's video, some kids were not wearing their greens and whites, and we want to make sure that everybody is representing 4-H. So all those rules should remain the same. Like I said, Maria has been working on the fair book, and we'll be sending each superintendent your portion of the fair book. And it's going to be very important for you to look at that and make changes to it so that we can get this out. We want the link for it to go out with this newsletter. And so we are down to a very tight deadline of Friday. Maria has agreed to meet via Zoom with each superintendent to go over and make sure that we are submitting what it is you want to have in that handbook. This will be your only opportunity to edit what's there. So Don, I'll pick on you because your name is first there on my list. One of the questions that came up was like for Rabbit, what categories are we going to do? What classes are we going to do? So knowing that we're going to be virtual and hopefully somewhat live, let's narrow it down to this is what we really want to do, knowing that we're not going to be able to spend 2 days judging and whatnot.
Right.
So if every superintendent can kind of look at their information, like I said, Maria will be sending that out. You'll probably have it before the end of this meeting. Please look at it, make revisions, and set up a time. Before we leave tonight, we'd like to have actual times set up to have Maria meet with you via Zoom to discuss the categories and classes. Oh, I just got the chat. It has been sent. This is great. This is like being at NASA. 3, 2, 1, blast off. So all of you should, if you check your emails, all of you should have your sections from the fair book. We're going to take about 5-10 minutes here right now for you to kind of glance over it and see if you have any immediate questions. And then if you can respond in chat to set up a time that you can meet via chat. Via Zoom with Maria to answer any questions that she may have. We want to make sure that what we are submitting is what can feasibly be done in this virtual / somewhat live fair that we'll be doing. So I'm going to give you guys.
I can't look at it because I'm driving.
I appreciate that.
Send any, text, I can't text or anything. But I do have a concern that, this will be not just for rabbits, this is for a lot of them. To set them up for breed so that the judge can fill and actually, fill them and stuff, they're not going to be able to do. So if it's going to be virtual, we won't have a breed show, we'll just have a showmanship show.
Correct.
But if we have a breed show, if we can have a breed show, how are we going to put that in this information going out? That's my concern. We need to have a plan A, plan B, or plan C.
Yes, I would go ahead and make it, Don, like we are going to do it live. Because hopefully we will be able to set up something that we are going to do it live, that the member will drop off at a certain time. It may, people can't just hang out together. So they can go to Jersey Mike's and get a number 2, Mike's Way, or, whatever they can do to kill some time while the judge does have time to do his or her thing. So I would promote it.
That we'll get to at least phase 1 by the time these dates roll around, which would be 5 people or less, gathered indoors and no more than 10 outdoors. And so, you need to keep that in mind. And that's not just your exhibitors, it's your judge, it's the staff, it's the maybe youth that's helping the judge or whatever. Or the volunteer that's helping them. So, that's total people. So it's going to be small in terms of the number that can be together doing that live event. And so I would say plan, and you're right, Don, we have to have ABC, because if we could plan for that and then still have to do it completely virtually because we are not there yet. January just flew by. We're already, a weekend practically, and it's a short month. And so, hopefully, a lot will be changing over the next few weeks and we'll get back there. But, there's really no way to predict. So we are going to have options thought out.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know for showmanship, it's better when they can see them, the judge can control the showmanship instead of a video camera.
Sure.
And so, for rabbits, for me, I mean, they can drop off the rabbits in the morning. The rabbits could be judged with just, my judge and myself and Rachel. That's it, And then they can come back and we can have like 3 at a time doing showmanship,
Mhm.
and then have it so that if we're going to be able to do anything live. If it's not going to be able to do anything live, then
And Don, that's why I would have them submit a video just as a backup. It's good practice for them anyway. So
Yeah.
so we've got the video submitted so that, hopefully it would not happen, but if we have to go fully virtual, we have that, and that's what would be judged for showmanship.
that's
But
what I'm
if
saying. That's plan A. That's plan A,
Right.
plan B, plan. Okay,
R-
that's what I
Right,
wanted
so
to
they're
make
gonna
sure.
s- they're going to submit that video regardless. Like I said, it's good practice for them, and hopefully that's not what is going to be judged, but we have it in the event that we have to go back to full virtual.
Okay, now I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm a parent. I have a kid that's showing junior livestock. I'm going to submit a video. We can go ahead and do live showmanship, but they submitted a video. Does that video still get judged with everybody else?
You mean while the others are live, would that video be, it can be, but like you said, they're not going to have the advantage.
Right.
Maybe we could
Hopefully-
do a separate, like, virtual, if it comes down to it and they do get to show live, there could be like a separate virtual award for virtual video, maybe?
It could be. There's a lot of possibilities that we have available to us. We want to do live if it comes down to it where they have to make the choice between doing a live rabbit show or a live steer show. That's their decision. The video would be what would be judged. Yeah. And like Jess said, we could have a separate category for just virtual. I would encourage people to do it live though. That's part of
Me too.
the experience is, standing shoulder to shoulder, 6 feet, okay, not shoulder to shoulder, but 6 feet next to your neighbor, showing your rabbit. And that's how you learn. So-
Exactly.
Well, and if we schedule a rabbit show in the evening, say, to avoid conflict with junior livestock, the question becomes how you decide you want to run the show. You can allow the virtual to be judged if we're doing a live show, or you can also say that that we're submitting the videos as a backup in case we cannot have a live show. And they will only be used in the case where that happens. I mean, so it's up to you guys how you want to do it.
It's up to
That's
each
kind of how I
superintendent.
feel about it.
Yeah. And that's why Maria wants to talk with each of you on a one-on-one Zoom so that these things can be decided, so that what we submit to the newsletter, what goes out in this handbook, is very clear. Like you said, A, B, C, these are our options. So that's why this meeting, this one-on-one, is so important for people to do. So I know you're driving, Dawn, but is
I
there a
think that
time?
I'd have to look at my calendar, but I
Okay.
think as a committee, we need to be on the same page. So I say, no, it has to be live. And let's say Amy says, no, she's going to be taking both. And Poultry says, nope, I'm only doing videos. I think we should all be on the same page.
Well, I think
That way
that
we have a uniform.
I think
uniform.
that ideally the live show is what we do want.
Yeah.
But we do need that video as a backup.
Yeah, no, I agree if we, send in a video for backup, but I think that everybody should be in agreement with that because if it is something that someone's like, oh, I'll do both, then we all need to do both. Because it makes the small stock department look like we are working all together, and we need to work together, and that's
We do.
easier for the kids and the parents also.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Jess, Amy, Beth, Hannah?
I think that's Rachel, the Hannah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Rachel, what do you guys think? Let's get some feedback from.
I do like the idea of like kind of a unified front, except for they're all so different. Like it's hard to do goat showmanship, virtual, but you can do breed, but rabbits you can do breed, or you can't do breed and you can do showmanship. So I don't know. I feel like if we're virtual, we can't be very unified, but if we're in person, we're probably more apt to be unified. I mean, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm sorry. I
But
just
I-
ran in the door.
What I thought I heard Dawn saying is that she's looking for us all for the members of this committee to be unified in terms of what are we going to do with videos if you have live shows? Is everybody going to be on the same page that the videos are only a backup to the live show if the live show can't happen? And if the live show does happen, they need to be live to be judged.
That's kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, well, I agree. Like if we say we're gonna have a live show, you have to be there. You can't submit, a video if we're having a live show.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about, Dawn?
Yeah, that's what she's
That's
talking about.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she recognizes that each of the species would have different things that they're able to do in a live versus a virtual show, but she's talking about the overall management of those events in terms of use of videos versus non-use of videos, that sort of thing.
Exactly. I guess I didn't explain it right.
No, you did. We just, like you said, we have to decide. We're either live or we're, if possible, we're either live or we're video. And I think the goal is for us to be live. Beth and Jess and Rachel, what are your thoughts?
Well, since it's the building exhibits, I mean, either will work for us.
That actually got me.
Yeah, building, I think, is going to have to be photos and video, unless there are contests like the fashion review, things like that. So again, I think the same. You're either live or video. The video is a backup. Okay. Jess, Rachel, do you guys have any thoughts? Well, I know you have thoughts. But...
I'm still thinking, no, that's fine. Like you said, it just each animal is going to be different and each section's different. So we got to just come up with, like you said, something uniform but specific to each category. Because I agree, if we can do it live, everything should be live. I'm just worried about those who want to participate but can't, like those who are vulnerable, who would have to do only a virtual entrance. So that's why I was thinking maybe do, I don't like the word separate, but an additional category if somebody can only turn in virtual, if they can't come and be live. But yeah, definitely live is favorable versus anything. I'm following so many different parameters and stuff right now. I got to sit down and think about like, what can we actually do? Like, should we have the kids come in timed increments where from like 9:30 to 9:45, you drop off?
Yeah.
And then do we do a live feed where we have the judge on TV and we have people out in the waiting room socially distanced so they can see the judge's comments on their animal? I mean, I know there's a lot to think about, and I'll be honest, my world hasn't slowed down enough to think about it because it's kind of waiting until we were closer to see what was going on, because it's going to be difficult to plan for one, let alone both scenarios plus a backup. So that's why I'm just a little overwhelmed with all of it. But yeah, live is my preference.
Yeah. How about you, Rachel? What do you think?
Yeah, obviously I would like live too, but I don't really care about, like, I don't really have a preference if you want the people who can't be like in person, if they get to show their videos or not.
Thanks. I appreciate that input. I think that that's kind of what the intent is right now, is for it to be a live show, but to have that video as backup. So again, everybody will submit the video, but hopefully it won't have to be used. Hopefully it will just be a practice run for everybody. So what
So
I'd
we're at
really,
level 0 right now. Like everything's supposed to be virtual, no contact of any kind. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Like no, nothing. Everything would have to be virtual.
Everything.
Is the parameters looking like we could possibly get moved up to tier 1?
It's looking, by fair time, we are hoping. It's hard to say, but Kathy, I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, the statistics in Arizona, I mean, we're one of the, if not the, still, we're one of the worst states in the country, but things have been improving. And, you know, when we do our plans, I mean, even if we do a virtual, there's still going to have to be some accommodation made, which I'm willing to make it so that a judge and you as a superintendent can work and get that done. Because that's not a phase 0 thing, even, because phase 0 is nothing. But I have the authority to make that kind of accommodation, and I'm happy to do that so that we can have these opportunities to even do the virtual judging. If we're going to do something on site, people are going to drop off. And then I liked your suggestion, Jess, of the, you know, you could have a time on Zoom where the judge is going to give their comments for, you know, their classes, and the kids could all watch either on their phones or on their computers, and the leaders can watch, and everybody can benefit from that experience. So there are some accommodations I can make, but we have to have good mitigation plans in place, and in order for us to do that. And so even if we're still at phase 0, I think we can do some things. But like we did a drive-through event in December with the electric light parade here in town, you know, and instead of us having everybody on a big float and everybody walking down and big crowds lining Florence Boulevard, you know, people were in their cars and they had a map and they drove to the different locations where the floats were going to be. So, you know, there's ways to accommodate and to plan under either scenario. We just have to think it through and be creative, and, you know, we'll find a way to get it done. And I'm very hopeful that we'll be to phase 1 by then, as I said earlier. But, you know, I don't have a magic ball that's 100% accurately predictive.
So we could come up with a plan that kept people separate, healthy, safe, sanitized, but necessarily, if it was a safe plan, we could get that approved. Is that what I'm hearing?
There's potential for it to be approved.
There are plans and there are plans. It depends on what you plan. You know, if we're planning to bring everybody out to MAC and we're at phase 0, that's not a plan that's going to be improved. To bring, you know, and have spread out, you know, things where like a judge and an adult and people are going to drive through, drop off their stuff and then go away and then maybe come back the next day to pick up or whatever, or later the same day to pick up, you know, that evening, you know, that's potentially something we could do, but, you know, we have to think about how would we do it to really, especially if we're in phase 0, to really keep interactions between people very limited.
Right. Right.
And Jess, that all comes down to, like Kathy said, what we submit as a proposal. So if we really show that there's a lot of thought and there's a process to keep things sanitized, to keep people separate, we can do it. It's a matter of working together to write the plan that Kathy's going to feel safe in approving, because the ultimate, you know, goal is to keep people safe and healthy. But a lot of that is what's going to come out of these one-on-ones with Maria. So that really is our next step. And I don't know if anybody, because we have to do this by Friday. That's the kicker in it. So the sooner the better. So I don't know if anybody has a time that it's kind of like, ooh, 2 o'clock on Thursdays are great for me. That you want to set up with Maria now, because we do want to get these scheduled tonight, so she's got a plan of attack. So Dawn, do you and Rachel, because I assume that you two will be working together. There you go, Beth. Maria, can you do tomorrow at 6 p.m.?
She says, perfect.
Awesome. There, we've got our first taker. I have a 6. I have a 6. I have a 6 on Thursday. Do I hear a 2 on Thursday? 2 on Thursday? No. Jess, do you have a time? I know your schedule is crazy, but do you have a time that you would be able to do a Zoom with Maria?
Yeah, like maybe Friday. Can I have a slot on Friday? I got to babysit a toddler tomorrow. My brain ain't gonna be doing too much else like keeping her in line because my house is not toddler proof. And then tomorrow's a crazy night. But yeah, I've got some ideas rolling through my head because we're doing Girl Scout cookie booths and we have to do it contactless. So how do you sell a product being contactless? So I think we can do this. We just got to kind of. There's a way. I just need. Can somebody email me the protocols on like what ASU is saying we can and can't do, or
Well, I don't know
Can't
what
tell you about
ASU is
ASU.
saying, but
I don't like what 4-H's rules are.
U
Not
of
ASU, I
A.
mean U of A. You know what I mean.
following
on.
CDC guidelines. The links have been sent and we'll send it again to what the phase protocols are.
Okay, no, I can search for it. Don't worry about it. If it's already been sent to me, I'll just search my email.
Yeah,
But
we've
yeah,
sent it a few times.
okay,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
I've got it then. So sometime Friday would be fine. During the day,
times-
actually would be better for me.
Are mornings better or afternoons for you, Jess?
8:30 to 10, somewhere around there. Friday would be good.
Maria, does that work for you?
Let's do 9.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. So awesome. So we've got Rachel and Dawn.
I'm working till 5 tomorrow and Friday. Rachel, do you have school on Friday?
No. I have Fridays off.
Okay, I think I'm working till 4 or 4:30 Friday, so we could do Friday night.
Are mornings better for you, Dawn?
Oh, I start work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, Maria gets up at 4. That's not.
I can do 3 p.m. if you want.
I am not very,
It's fine.
I know.
Come on, Dawn's in your name. You should be in. No. Do you have a break or something? I don't want to take up your lunch, but
My break, I have class, and so I have to escort my newbies up to get lunch.
gotcha.
And going through the concourse, and I can't have a phone on the ramp.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you be, I hate to ask you after a long day, but would you be able to meet tomorrow night? Only because we want to get this finalized by 5 o'clock on Friday. I know Maria's got a 6 o'clock for tomorrow night, but maybe 7?
7
something
will
like
be
that.
fine. Rachel, is
Is-
that okay with you?
Probably. Maybe.
Okay, well, why don't you text or send me what your thoughts are, and if you can't be on it, I'll make sure I incorporate your information.
Awesome. Great.
Maria, does that work for you? 7 o'clock tomorrow night?
Yep, that'll work.
That way we'll just have it done before Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then we'll need to reach out to Michelle for poultry. And we are still looking for a dog superintendent. So if people have recommendations, we would sure love them, because otherwise we may not have a dog show.
What do I have to do? We can put it together. What do we have to do?
You have to sit and stay and heal.
I don't do any of that.
Find a judge.
Find a judge. Yeah, that's the big one, is finding a judge, because the rules are pretty much well laid out. And again, they would be the one to make the decision on how they want the show to proceed.
I can probably
Okay.
find a judge if somebody is going to be running the show.
I'm sure that I can, it depends on how much has to be done with it. My next door neighbor does agility. I mean, she can help me with the agility.
Okay, we do need to get her approved as a volunteer. So,
Oh, well, she wouldn't be able to come because, she has
Okay.
compromised, but she can tell me what to do, I'm
Okay.
saying.
okay,
So, and, I can have Alex help me out on it.
okay, and he is approved right now, so. Yeah, well, then that's something we can talk about tomorrow night at 7 also, so we do have a dog show. So we'll need to reach
Yeah,
out
they need
to,
to have that.
okay, thank
And
you.
I'll make Amy help me too. She doesn't know that yet. Don't tell her.
Oh, Amy's a good friend. So, awesome. Okay. Well, great. So Maria, are you satisfied with?
Yes, I am. And I just sent you the dog fair section, Don. So you will also have that in your email when you get a chance. But yeah, I'm good with it all.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all for being willing to do that. I know it's asking a lot on an already full week, and thank you,
Thank
Maria,
you,
for being.
Dawn.
Yes. Thank you. So, all right. So after your one-on-one with Maria, we'll have a better idea of the member handbook. And again, that will be sent out. We want it to be by Friday so that all the members can see it and get signed up. Again, the sign up will be done through ShowWorks, which they all should be very familiar with. We've been using it for years. And if there are any questions, Maria is also very familiar with that program. So I keep volunteering, Maria. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's why I'm here.
But
That's okay, Maria. I always volunteer Amy. She doesn't know it either.
Yeah, well, we're all in this together.
Dawn, you act like I can't hear you.
Oh, Amy's with us. I didn't
You
hear.
didn't tell me Amy was on. No, just kidding. I know.
So, okay, awesome. Well, that kind of puts us at a stopping point on the fair information. I did want to share with all of you that Bryce, who is our AmeriCorps for 4-H, we have him for about 6 months, has been working on trying to get STEM projects really going here in Pinal County. He has completed the robotics train the trainer and has started a class. So it actually will begin next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. It meets from 5 to 6 online. And the way to sign up for it is to give us your email, and a personal invite from the Coder Z will be sent to the member that wants to take place or wants to participate in it. We have room for about 8 more students. So if you know anybody, any of your members that are interested in robotics, or no, not through Z Suite, Beth. If you want to send the email to either, if you want to send it to Maria, everyone's got Maria's email, she can forward it to Bryce, and Bryce can send you a personal invite from the program. It's really fun. I did it as well, and I don't play video games, but I had fun doing it. And it's a way for members to get familiar with coding. And I don't know, Bryce, if you wanted to add anything to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that currently out of the few people that you gave me, Esther, to email, 2 of the 3 people have said yes.
Awesome.
Still waiting on the third to email me confirmation of they actually want to do it.
Great.
But the coding is basic block coding where you just drag and click or drag and drop different things. So it's very simple, or a very simplified version of what coding actually is. Trust me, that gets real confusing real fast. And every coder I talk to, or programmer, depending on what you want to call them, Says here, yeah, you'll be yelling at your computer a lot if you did the actual main coding programs. Like, even with this, it's like, yeah, you can get frustrated very easily, but eventually you'll figure it out.
So
It's very
Bryce
simple.
did robotics through high school, and so he is very qualified. And a lot of it, like I said, it's online. It's only an hour twice a week. I'm excited to hear that we've got 2 of those spots taken up. But please, I think Maria said she sent the flyer to all of you. So I think Bryce's email is on there, so you can email him directly. There's been a lot of programming going on from the state 4-H office. They had a day at the Capitol. I forget what it was called, but Kathy?
The Engaged Citizen event.
There you go. And we had 2 members from Pinal County attend. It was a great event for them. Those events are always listed on the state 4-H website, and I know Maria sends them out as they come through. There's another fun program going on right now, the Greenhouse. We're in week 3 of that, but great opportunity for kids to get involved with agriculture and STEM. A lot more math than I was hoping for in that program. And then there's also Ag Innovators, which is getting ready to start, and there are still plenty of openings in that. So I encourage you to, and I think that information is on the State 4-H website as well. I encourage you to let your members know about this and encourage them to participate. There are so many really fun and educational things going on right now, and a lot of them lead to leadership positions. So we want to make sure that we're promoting those. In addition, Bryce's work, he has a Mars Rover Day planned, and that's the last Saturday in February, I believe, where members will be building a miniature Mars rover. Obviously miniature, I guess that was redundant to say, but they will be building a Mars rover and learning how to, what's behind it and playing a little game and everything. That's something that you do need a kit for. So we need people to register at least a week prior to that happening so that kits can be delivered to the members. We're really going to take advantage.
For adults too? Can the adults play too?
The adults can play because Don, what you can do is learn how to do it and then take it back to your club and teach your club. So that's what 4-H is all about. So you learn by doing and then you teach what you've learned. So yes, you can sign up for that. So,
cool.
And I think that flyer Maria can send out as well, and it will be in the newsletter as well. So we encourage you to tell members about it, take advantage of these opportunities. While we aren't in a normal 4-H year, opportunities are still very abundant, and we encourage all of our members to reach for the stars.
And a lot of these things, they are looking for adults to be involved because they need chaperones, like the 2 youth from our county that did the Engaged Citizen event. We didn't have any adult volunteers who stepped up, but Maria served as our chaperone for our kids that participated in that event. So there are opportunities for adults, and the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and along with that program that I'm doing with the Mars, there is also a component to it where since we're in stage 0 currently, I'm going to have the families, or at least one other person in the family, help participate with the kid, or in this case, sometimes adults, with it. So there's a partner activity included with this. So that's a way for you to get involved too.
My kid's 20 years old.
Don't worry, I feel the same. I'm 21 and still a kid at heart.
It's okay, I just rent kids.
Well, Alex is your partner, so you two can take this program and teach it to your members, Don.
Well, I just talked to him. He was pulling out as I was pulling in, so I stopped on the road and told him about the dog thing, and he said, "I'm in. I'll help." So
you've raised a nice young man.
He knows I'll beat him.
All right, never mind. Corporal punishment. Okay, that is all I have on my agenda. I don't know if people have questions or comments, or if something's been left unsaid.
I have a random question for my goat people.
Okay.
Don, Amy, if if a person was to get a ton of chain link fence and some of the metal poles, would the goat section be able to use that for new pens in the fair building, or is chain link fence like a no-go for goats? I know nothing about them, so I'm shooting from the hip here.
Are you
I'm
talking
sorry.
about South? Go
Oh.
ahead, Amy.
Sorry, my husband vacuums once a year and he chose the last 30 seconds to do it. Could you repeat that?
No, that's okay. My kid come in here too. So I was saying if one was to get a sizable amount of chain link fence and the poles donated, would the goat department or anybody be able to use that as fencing? I didn't know if goats can be kept in chain link fence or not, if it would work.
It is at fair we have chain link fence and it's not good because they dig underneath, and you know how at the bottom of the chain link it like kind of turns up, and goats are notorious for cutting themselves open on that, and then they stand on the chain link and they squash the fence down. And I mean, if there's pretty much any way to destroy something, a goat will do it.
Right.
And yeah, chain link is pretty easy for them to destroy.
Okay. Can the chain link be used anywhere else can anybody else use it in the fairgrounds for 4-H or small livestock? The reason I'm asking is because Toll Brothers gave me probably, I don't even know how much chain link fence, and I have it sitting out on my property. So if there's any pens that need to be redone or made for like in poultry or anything, I have it to give, and I have a decent amount of the poles that goes with it too. We would still need connectors and things, but it'd be a small investment if we needed new pens for one of the areas.
That's definitely something we can look into, Jess, and we can talk with Misty and see what the thoughts are out there. Because I don't know with dog obedience if it's ever going to end up outside. There's always a possibility, but we can check with Misty as far as the fairgrounds.
Okay, yeah, just let me know because I've got it. I'm not going to use all, I've got some for my chicken coop, but I'm not going to need all of it. So I was thinking we could redo the goat pens, but then I got to thinking, like Amy said, they're pretty destructive. So I was like, that's not the most sturdy stuff. So yeah, brainstorm. If anybody can figure it out, let me know.
Well, there were the toddlers you were talking about. We can set up a toddler station and just throw all the toddlers in a chain link fenced area on the grass.
I like that.
No, we will look into that, Jess. Thank you. That was a very generous offer.
Oh, no worries.
Anything else? Victor, Kathy, Bailey, Maria?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Well, again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Maria will hold your one-on-ones, and we'll reach out to Michelle and get one set up with her as well for poultry so that we can get this taken care of. We so appreciate you guys. You really have no idea how much you guys bring to this 4-H program, and we understand the dedication of your time. We understand the dedication of your hearts, because that's what it's all about, is that you care. So thank you very much, and we will be in touch with you on your meeting dates with Maria. So I hope everybody has a good night. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.